For him, perhaps Davos, Switzerland. So Davos, Switzerland. President Donald Trump flew home from an international conference here Thursday with a parting message. It was an incredible time in Davos. For him, perhaps, but for many of the country's European allies, it was a sign of global rupture that could reverberate for years, right? So as you can see, other nations are see it, right? Other nations are see that this alliance between America and Europe, right? It's slowly fading. As a matter of fact, it's quickly fading. You know what I mean? It's quickly fading, and you know, experts and analysts, prophets all over, I see this for what it really is. You know what I mean? A global conflict between America and its former allies. Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Says Trump has appeared to back off his maximalist demand that the US take ownership of Greenland, moving instead toward a deal that would allow the US to place more troops, bases, and military hardware on the island, which is a territory of Denmark. In an interview with Fox Business, he said, "We're getting everything we wanted, total security, total access to everything." Yet all of that was available to Trump from the start, without the drama that sent the NATO alliance barreling toward an internal crisis, a Danish official told NBC News on Thursday. The only non-negotiable point for Denmark was that Greenland shouldn't be absorbed by the US. Alright, the person added, "We can discuss increased military presence and more troops, you name it. Basically, you can have it under existing treaties," the officer said, speaking on condition of anonymity. Trump's reassurance that America's military won't seize Greenland at gunpoint settled the financial markets, as did his pledge to forego tariffs on Europe as a prod to relinquish Greenland. But his Greenland gambit clawed away some of the trust that underpins a successful alliance, said diplomats, government officials, and foreign policy experts. You know what I mean? And these countries have a right not to trust America. So even though them get the go ahead for add, for put more troops, and if we can have access to more things where Greenland is concerned, the whole theatrics will take place before deteriorated the trust between these alliances. You know what I mean? And it's definitely gonna have a lot of these countries thinking that, what will they not do? You know what I mean? Because them know America is serious. They know what America is like. Just days or maybe a week before the whole Greenland situation, you know what I mean, the world see what America do. Them go in Venezuela and removed the current president, just like that, with no no interruption, for lack of a better word, right? So yeah, what's to stop America from going further than just extra troops in Greenland, or more access to Greenland, right? What's to stop them from actually seizing the island altogether? See, so that has already dampened the trust, which was, again, question. The alliance was basically, in question, so to speak, for a while now, seen. But anyways, Trump's reassurance that America's military won't seize Greenland at gunpoint settled the financial markets, as did his pledge to forego tariffs on Europe as a prod to relinquish Greenland. But his Greenland gambit clawed away some of the trust that underpins a successful alliance, said diplomats, government officials, and policy experts. Senator Lisa Murkowski, all right, or Alaska, who attended the World Economic Forum in Davos, told NBC News, as an American, as an Alaskan, I was concerned that in this global forum, the relationships that have been built up with so many perhaps were fractured. Trump's announcement at Davos that he won't use force helped ease tensions, though some foreign policy experts and officials said his bid to swallow up Greenland sowed distrust in European capitals that won't soon dissipate. The damage has already been done, said Aurel Sari, a professor of international law at the University of Exeter in England. NATO is based on shared values and trust. What is becoming very clear to European leaders and to Canada as well is that those values are not shared anymore, and the trust is simply not there. Coming out of World War II, the US reshaped the international landscape, creating a web of institutions meant to resolve conflicts peacefully and apply rules fairly. As a superpower protective of its own interests, the US has breached international norms at various times. Yet, the structure that evolved over the past 80 years averted a third world war while creating broad prosperity in the West. No democratic leaders warn that America is destabilizing the very order it birthed. Before Trump touched down in Davos, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney warned in a speech that geopolitical relations are undergoing a rupture. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz echoed Carney's point in his own speech in Davos on Thursday. He warned that the international order of the past 3 decades, anchored in international law, has always been imperfect. Today, its very foundations have been shaken. The new world of great powers is being built on power, on strength, and when it comes to it, on force, Mertz said. It's not a cozy place. Very long article. But let's just get into some precepts. For that, let me copy the link so we can share it in the description, and we can brothers can read it, or whoever can read it. Alright, so let's go up to Alright, Revelation. This is Revelation 17 and verse 16. I actually just read it a while ago in a different video. It says, let's start at verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called chosen and faithful. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. Alright, America, the whore representing America, you know. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Right, the same beast that America, that the whore was riding, which is NATO and the EU, you know what I mean? Or in other words, alliances who were in alliance with America, you know what I mean? Basically, are gonna come to the destruction of America, right? They're gonna come to bring the destruction of America, seen by way of nuclear missiles, right? Thermonuclear missiles. See, that's what we see. That's what we see. All of these moves that are being made, they're being made to bring forth this prophecy, right? All of the tension or the global rupture, as them say in the article, right? That is what this is what all of that is leading up to, yeah? The total destruction of America by their own allies. Seen? I call it the scripture in Obadiah as well. Let me get it too. Same precept again. Obadiah 1 and verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Right? So yeah, this is what's gonna happen. The Lord basically has set up is as the scripture say, a kingdom divided in itself cannot stand. And this is what we see happening, right? The Roman Empire, the Edomite kingdom is being divided against each other, right? And it will not stand. So right now we just await upon the prophecies to just continue to get fulfilled. The next prophecy, the prophecy of the MOTB is basically what's coming next, right? Once the MOTB gets mandatory all over the world, that's when this World War III basically gonna kick off. You know what I mean? Alright, so we just look for the prophecies, wait upon them to get fulfilled, and that way we can get out of the wicked society. Yeah, we can get out of Esau kingdom and move into our kingdom. Alright, so with that, hopefully this lesson was edifying. We want to say all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hashem Kodash, the blood of the apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim, pushing this word sincerely, in truth, to the men, women, and children that believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom to you as well.